Hello, I'm John Torrens. I teach confident communication, and this is how to start any talk. I imagine the way you feel about it is once you've got the first few minutes out of the way, then you feel that things are moving and the rest of it is a little bit easier. I find it's a bit like going swimming or doing something else physical that I don't really enjoy. To begin with, it's fairly unpleasant, but once I've got going, I'm not entirely comfortable, but I realize that I can make it to the end fairly happily. The first few minutes are the point where you're getting warmed up, you're getting used to speaking, you're getting a feel for how the audience works, what the tech setup is like. And it's also the point where the audience is deciding whether they should listen to you or not. Right? If you don't grab them in those first few minutes, they might check out. And you'll find that no matter how good the rest of your material was going to be, they'll never see it because they're no longer interested. So the first few minutes, I think, are crucial. So Aristotle had some rather good ideas about speaking, as it turns out. And you can apply these to the beginning of your talk. So one would be logos, facts, logic, the argument. Hit your audience with a statistic and ask them a question, which is a great way to engage any audience. How many of these do you think happen every year? What do you think the percentage is of this? What do you think this number means? Get them engaged with a direct question like that with some facts. Or you might go with ethos, which is how you do things and what your emotions are. This is how I like to operate. I've always been driven by this. These are my values. This is how I do things. That can be a good way to engage, especially if it resonates with them. Or you could use the third, which is pathos, which traditionally we think of as being negative emotion, but it's basically any emotion, any feeling. How do you feel about this? What does this image do for you? What do you think of when I say this word? Get them engaged in that way. Get them emotionally involved. So those are 3 ways you could do it. I would argue, hit them with your best stuff. Don't save stuff till the end. By that point, it may be too late if they've bailed. The delivery, though, is also really important. So you might have some killer material, but you need to deliver it with a bit of enthusiasm, a bit of energy. And my top tip is eye contact, smile, and start talking. You don't necessarily have to get straight into the material, but say something that addresses them. If it's online, I might ask people about where they are, what the weather is, what they've been watching, anything that's sort of anti-work. It's nothing to do with the presentation. That can be a nice way to just ease into it in a natural conversational way. If I'm in person, then I might say, hey, I like your coat, or look where you're sitting, or that looks tricky, or I like the flavor of those crisps, or something trivial. But again, it's of the moment. What did you think of the tea that we just drank? Oh, I like this coffee. This is dreadful. This is what I think. Just a little moment of personal connection. Then get into it. And if you can link that in, then that's great as well. To make this really work, you need to rehearse it. Now, I think you should rehearse your whole talk, obviously, but rehearsing the first part and really focusing on that will help make sure that you deliver it in a way that grabs your audience and has them engaged and wanting to listen to the rest of your talk. And that is how you start any talk.